Hello everybody, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another album review. And today, I'm talking about the 10th album from Pink Floyd, Animals. So, we've made it to the point in the Floyd catalog where the topic of politics and society is the most important. This entire album is inspired by the George Orwell novel Animal Farm, which is about a bunch of farm animals rebelling against their farmers so that they can create a society where they can be equal. But while the novel is a critique of socialist Russia, Animals is a critique of capitalism. The songs here are about the social-political conditions of mid-1970s Britain. The lyrical themes are super straightforward and you can easily tell that they're talking about politics. As for me personally, I kind of have the same experience with this album as I do with Wish You Were Here. Like, at first I really liked it, but I was not expecting to absolutely love it when I returned to it again. We are still feeling the effects of the insane politicians and society nowadays. And this album's lyrics perfectly reflect that. And the music on here is just so good. The instrumentation is incredible. The production is amazing. Wow, this album is like incredible and really relatable, honestly. Like a lot of people really hate politicians, and you know, I'm under 18, so I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I've had a lot of experiences with negative reactions to politics. So, I'm really glad that this album exists, so I could just take my anger out at all the politicians nowadays. Now, some people might think that the track listing on here is a bit weird, but I actually really like the way all these tracks are laid out. Like, the album starts and ends with an uncharacteristic acoustic two-part love song titled Pigs on the Wing. They aren't even 90 seconds long, and they're written by Roger Waters, and they're basically love songs to his then-wife, and they're mostly irrelevant to this album. Note that I said mostly, not entirely. Part 1 starts the album and it's basically just Roger talking to his then-wife. And the pigs on the wing could actually mean the album cover. I mean, for crying out loud, the album cover is a pig balloon flying over Battersea Power Station. But aside from the two parts of Pigs on the Wing, there are only 3 songs on this album. First, we have these 17-minute long Dogs, which has a lot of different parts, but they aren't actually distinguished from one another. It's just all one continuous track, and it's absolutely insane. Its main theme is the sadness of trying to find your place in the world nowadays, but you also have to, you know, think about your life in general. And it has a bunch of themes like betrayal, confusion, getting older, and so on and so forth. And instrumentally, it's also really interesting. Like, there's parts where it's more fast-paced, with acoustic guitars strumming away. There's also some slower jazz rock sections, which have some absolutely amazing guitar solos, and the synthesizer and organ work on here is also pretty amazing. And there's also that one 4-minute instrumental section in the middle, starting at the 8-minute mark, where it's just a bunch of, like, ambient noise, and it's all really, really interesting, and it all pulls everything together. The lyrical themes are amazing on this one, as well as the instrumentation, and yeah, I really, really love this track. It is absolutely insane in the best possible way. And then there's Pigs 3 Different Ones, an 11-minute track where it's basically talking about 3 pigs, and those 3 pigs are actually, like, I guess, political figures in Britain in the mid-1970s. Only one of them is directly name-checked, and that is Mary Whitehouse. We don't actually know who the other 2 are, but one of them might be Margaret Thatcher, but we have no idea. The instrumentation on the verses does sound a bit like Have a Cigar from Wish You Were Here, but probably even better. I mean, it's like, you know, all these verses are talking about how these people might be a laugh, but they're really actually a cry. And the thing is that, you know, Roger Waters in recent years has played this song in live tours, with a bunch of anti-Trump imagery even, because really, the lyric, you might be a laugh, but you're really a cry, it can be directed at Trump, if you want to. And yeah, this song is absolutely amazing in its instrumentation. The verses are absolutely amazing, and there's also the middle section where Gilmour uses a talk box on his guitar solo where he mimics the sound of pigs. That actually sounds a bit weird, but it's also pretty amazing. And then there's one final verse about Mary Whitehouse, and then there's an amazing instrumental outro with some absolutely incredible guitar work, and yeah, this song is also pretty amazing. So, let us introduce the third and final group, We've already introduced the self-elevating dogs, the 3 injustice-perpetuating pigs, and now it's time to introduce the group who always follow their leaders and always do their best to stay alive, the sheep. This song is also absolutely incredible. There's an electric piano intro by Richard Wright, and then there's verses about the sheep and what they do, and the little instrumental parts are also quite good, and the instrumentation on the verses is also quite nice. And all this time, while the sheep are just going around, they're always really angry at, you know, the dogs and such, and there might be dogs around, so they really do have to look out for them. But in the final verse, the sheep actually kill the dogs in a battle, but then the cycle just starts again because the new dogs, who are the sheep, are completely confused and have no idea what to do now with all this power in their hands. Or should I say legs. And you know, sheep are always compared to normal citizens who live out in the city, and I mean, that can be true sometimes. Like, me and my mother, most of the time we talk about these sheep who are now really out on the streets, protesting all over the cities, even in the world. And, you know, I mean, sheep can be beautiful, and citizens can be beautiful. And depending on what you think, they're either everywhere or they're extremely rare. I, for once, know that I am right now thinking about the latter category. So, the sheep have now killed the dogs and have no idea what to do with all this power. So what do? We just end with an absolutely amazing 2-minute instrumental outro, which is with some absolutely great guitar licks. And it ends with the sheep buying once again. The guitar licks there in the outro are absolutely amazing, and I love this entire track. It's absolutely incredible. And finally, we end with Pigs on the Wing Part 2. You know how I said that these tracks are mostly irrelevant to the album? Well, in part 2 of Pigs on the Wing, Roger Waters, or more accurately the narrator who is singing the song, was actually a dog all along, but he or she has now learned from these 3 animal groups, and now they know that they have to care about the people they care about, and they have to, you know, protect them at all costs, and you know, if they're together, everything might actually be better. And yeah, that's really how the song ends. And they might not be safe in the end, but now they can look out for pigs on the wing together. So yeah, it's a really nice ending, and it really brings the album full circle. So yes, that's Animals. You may have noticed that I mostly, you know, ran through talking about the instrumentation and the lyrics on the album, but that's mostly because, you know, there's 3 songs and all of them are over 10 minutes long. I really need to make, like, analysis videos on all these classic Pink Floyd albums from, you know, from The Dark Side of the Moon to The Wall, because talking about them entirely in these little short videos is just impossible. So let me just summarize my thoughts here. Animals, lyrically and instrumentally, is an absolutely amazing album. I've never heard anything quite like it, and you ought to listen to it at least once. It's, once again, one of my favorite albums of all time. These albums sure are those. And yeah, it's just an amazing album, what can I say? I'm overall feeling a 9.5 out of 10. But of course, this is just my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with it, and if you have any opinions, you can leave them in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. The wall review is going to be so fun. I'm Kev from Pest, and you've just learned a bit more about music today.